The Haunted Game. In a quaint, sleepy town nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there was a local legend about an old, abandoned mansion on the outskirts. The mansion, known as the Ashcroft Estate, had been left in disrepair for decades. Over time, the mansion became the subject of ghost stories and eerie tales told around campfires. However, the most chilling tale of all was about an antique board game found in the mansion's dusty attic. The Enchanted Game. The game had been discovered by a group of local teenagers who had dared each other to explore the mansion. Among them was Jake, a thrill-seeker with a penchant for the supernatural; Emma, a history enthusiast; Liam, a skeptic with a scientific mind; and Sarah, an avid gamer. As they ventured into the attic, they stumbled upon an intricately carved wooden box, adorned with strange symbols and a faded label that read, "The Enchanted Game." Despite the warnings etched into the label, the group was intrigued and decided to take the game home. That evening, they gathered at Sarah's house, eager to test the game's reputation. The board was old and ornate, with a mystical landscape filled with mythical creatures, hidden traps, and mysterious pathways. The game pieces were uniquely crafted, each representing different fantastical beings. As they began to play, the room grew colder, and a faint, eerie mist seemed to fill the space. The rules were simple but ominous. Each player must navigate the board, overcome challenges, and reach the final destination. The winner would be granted a single wish, but if any player failed to complete the game, a dark curse would befall them. At first, the game seemed harmless. The players faced whimsical challenges and light-hearted traps. However, as they progressed, the challenges became more sinister. The game began to mirror their real-life fears and insecurities. Jake faced his deepest fears of failure. Emma was haunted by ghostly figures from the past. Liam's rationality was challenged by inexplicable occurrences, and Sarah was tormented by visions of her own downfall. The game's atmosphere grew increasingly tense. The temperature in the room dropped dramatically, and shadowy figures appeared at the periphery of their vision. The dice rolled on their own, and the board seemed to shift and change unpredictably. The group realized too late that the game was more than just a board game. It was a conduit for a malevolent force. As the players neared the end, they found themselves in a dire situation. The final challenge was a harrowing test of courage and trust. They had to navigate a labyrinth filled with illusions and traps that played on their worst fears. It became clear that the game was designed to exploit their weaknesses and separate them from one another.
In a desperate bid to save their friends and themselves, Jake, Emma, Liam, and Sarah had to confront their deepest fears and rely on each other's strengths. The game's curse intensified, manifesting as nightmarish visions and physical manifestations of their fears. Their friendships were tested as they faced not only the game's trials but also their own personal demons. In the climactic final challenge, Sarah made a selfless decision. She used her turn to sacrifice her chance at victory to help her friends navigate the last trial. Her bravery and sacrifice helped the group overcome the final obstacle and reach the end of the game. As the last player finished the game, a sense of calm washed over the room. The haunted atmosphere dissipated, and the mist cleared. The board and pieces vanished into thin air, leaving only the empty box behind. The friends were left shaken but relieved. They had survived the haunted game and, in doing so, had strengthened their bonds and overcome their personal fears. The Ashcroft estate remained abandoned, and the mansion's dark legend lived on, but the group knew they had faced a true test of courage and friendship. Though they never spoke of the game again, they carried the memory of that night with them forever. The haunted game had shown them the power of confronting their fears and the strength of their unity. And as for the Enchanted Game, it remained a mystery, waiting for the next unsuspecting players to unravel its dark secrets. Don't forget to subscribe and bell icon.